Yo, 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 YouTube. Welcome back to another live. As you see already here, I'm by my lonesome tonight. Charlie is at a concert, and we hope he has a good time. Next week, we've got the National, so we'll see plenty of each other next week. But I'm shooting this one solo. So I thought what we would try to talk about tonight, obviously, we'll get a lot of chat going, hopefully. But the other thing I kind of wanted to talk about is as of tomorrow, I have officially been full time for 1 year. So I think that's a little something to celebrate. And things are going well. And I just kind of wanted to reflect a little bit on the past year and how things are different now than they were when I first started full time and talk a little bit about the National, which is next week. We are leaving on Wednesday very early morning to be there in the afternoon to pick up our passes, our VIP badges, and get in on the Wednesday preview night show. So we want to talk a little bit about that again, and just kind of getting the hype for that. Doesn't seem to be as big a show this year. There are less people. The VIP hasn't even sold out as far as I know. I got an email today with some details on VIP, like just where to go in, how to pick up bags, things like that. Um, But yeah, it's I believe tickets are still for sale, so that's pretty weird because last year they were sold out in, like, I wanna say early May, if I remember correctly. So I'm not sure if it's just due to location or who knows, but anyway, I do have a little bit of a special guest for us tonight. Of course, we've got Stu with us here, so, at least I have, Stu to help me out so I'm not completely alone, and then I've also got this little one here. Here she comes. We've got Luna on the show for
Hello.
a minute here before she has to go up. Luna's in the middle of her soccer playoff season and she's in a musical she's doing tomorrow night, so she needs to get her rest for sure. But she wanted to just pop in and say hi. You might have noticed I've got a brand new mic here. I'm using a monitor system now with the earbuds. So I'm becoming more legit, hopefully, with some of the online, especially the live content stuff. And I'm going to continue to use the mic and that for hopefully for a lot of the recorded videos, try to improve the sound and some of the quality of the content. So hopefully you can all hear me because I can hear me in the headphones, but until I see posts from you guys that you can't hear me or you can hear me, um, I'm just going to assume that you can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me through the computer?
Oh no, I can't.
Yeah, that's because I got the headphones in, I
I
think,
only
so
hear your
cancels out the sound
real life.
on the, on the laptop itself. Yeah, I found this really cool, um, microphone. It does a bunch of different lighting effects and stuff, and, it's got the, pop and spit screen here,
I got from
so hopefully that
Am
quality is a little
got
bit better.
from Amazon Prime Day.
Yep, good old Prime days. Yeah, found a good deal on
And
it. Was looking for a mic to upgrade to, so picked this one up. I like the little fade in and out
and he
colors
also
to it.
got me a
So
tail.
yeah, so yeah, we did a little Prime Day shopping yesterday.
Yeah.
This is the one that I picked up for the show. So hopefully it sounds good and it's something that I continue to try to evolve the channel, improve the quality of. But I think we're gonna let our little guest here head on up to her mom and get herself ready for her evening.
I'm gonna wait for mom
No, I
to
think you should.
come
I think you should head
get
up. All right. So, welcome everybody to the show. If you haven't been here before, we do a Wednesday night live. Normally, I've got Charlie with me and Stuart,
Sometimes I come.
and sometimes Luna will pop in too. But what we try to do here is we just try to talk a little bit about what's currently going on in low end card selling, um, referring a lot to eBay and just shipping methods and all kinds of stuff like that. So we are going to continue to grow that this next year. Like I said, I've got one full year in now with the business. So lots more to come. So let's talk a little bit about where I've gotten in a year. So 1 year ago, when I went full time, I had 28,685 listings. Today, I have, I should have looked this up ahead of time, but today I have, waiting for it to load, waiting for it to load, suspense, 46,125 listings. So I'm up about, what does that equate to? 18,000, something like that. So quite a bit of growth, a lot of sales as well, of course, in that time. And I've been trying to push more to get the sales, to get the quicker sales. So I want to try it. Like I just bought that whole lot of Jordans, listed them all. I've sold probably half of them already. So 650 cards. I've sold probably 325. And so I'm looking forward to continuing that path and trying to purchase more liquid stuff and getting them out. And hopefully some better than lowest end type stuff. Now, that being said, and because I got a comment recently on the channel from somebody about, well, hey, you said you were going to get out of some of the lower end stuff, and I noticed you've been buying all these big lower end buys. Well, when the buy is good, I'm still going to buy it. So, and I do have lots of room to list. I do have a second eBay store. We'd talked about this a few times about where to go once you hit 60,000. Um, I'm definitely going to continue growing the current store, but I have a pretty good um, influence, I guess, to grow a second store as well, and start looking at some alternative places to source um, to get my sales from. Okay, bye, baby. Love you. Have a good night.
Bye bye. Have a good show. Peace out.
Future YouTuber right there, I think.
Yep.
Um, so
Gaming
so
streaming.
that's kind of the can you shut the door, please? That's kind of the
Have a good
path
show.
that we want to go forward with the business. Now, as far as sales go, last year at this point in time, I was at about $38,000 in sales, I think. But most of that was part time up to this point. And now this year, so far this year, I'm at like 84,000 in sales. So quite a bit of growth just on the sales numbers as well. I don't have the exact numbers. I probably could have looked that up ahead of time, but uh, I I looked at the my current sales very recently, within the last week, and it was somewhere right around there. So it's important to have both, right? You want to grow your inventory, you want to grow your listing count, but you obviously want to grow your income. That's the ultimate goal. Now, we are going to the National in a week. I haven't been going to many shows. I've been planning my own show. Me and Charlie are doing a show here, and we've been spending a lot of time kind of working on that and just going through inventory that I currently have that still needs to be listed. As a matter of fact, this past week I found I changed offices. I'm in my new office in the basement now, and upon moving some things, I found a box of some non-sport stuff that I bought last year at the National that I never listed. Bunch of good inserts and stuff like that. I bought really well last year, which was, I wasn't quite sure in the moment because I was buying a lot of things I hadn't bought before. That was kind of my period to try things, right? So um, I had bought a lot of, like, whatever I saw that caught my eye, essentially, for the non-sport. So I bought a lot of shiny stuff, inserts, sticker cards. The rules for those haven't changed much over the years of different sets. So I just kind of stuck with that, and I've done really well. I listed 2 Harry Potter innocent looking insert cards, and they sold right away for 10. I listed each one for $4.99. They sold together for $10, pretty much instantly, and I know I paid less than 8 cents a piece. So, and those sat around for a year. I coulda listed them the day I got them and sold them probably, or very soon after, but they sat there unlisted. So I don't wanna have a ton of stuff laying around that I'm not listing right away. Um, but I also wanna make sure that I have stuff so that if I don't have pick up stuff at a show or I don't have lots that I bought or I don't wanna spend capital at that time, from the business to buy inventory, that I have stuff that I can work with. So that's sort of my plan, going forward, and then focusing more on not high end, not even really mid end, but just more not super low end. So I'm thinking like, you know, $3 to $10 cards instead of a lot of $1.99 type cards that I'm buying for a few pennies. Okay. Um so that's sort of the year in review of my first year full time. Lots of changes since then. So let's talk about that a little bit. New office. I moved down to the basement. Built an office specifically for the purposes of um, having a card shop, essentially in uh, in an office. Um, I have my file cabinets that I've uh, upgraded to from instead of running out of a bunch of 5-row boxes and stuff. I also have the new inventory system with all the. I keep calling it new, and it's been like 7 months now. But that's been world changing as far as efficiency and availability to list basically anything because I just bag it and put it away. Don't have to keep constantly sorting and things like that. Everything just goes in a bag, goes in the drawer. When the bag gets emptied, reuse the bag for the next block of cards. So that I've changed. My inventory system has changed quite a bit in the last year, definitely in the last 6 months, 7 months. Um, and then just expansion as far as what I've been selling. So I started out with just main players. I'm going to take these off. The glare starts to annoy me. Um, I started with just kind of main players. Originally was just selling Favre. That's how I started the whole thing off. And Favre's still my best seller, or at least way up there. I have quite a bit of inventory left to list, a lot left to sell. So I'll be continuing to push a lot of his stuff. But then I also, started expanding into other major players, Tom Brady and, the bigger names. Now I've expanded that even further. I've been adding more, especially baseball. I've really added a lot more players that I regularly buy, and also different sets and inserts and things like that. I've been focused a little less on player and a little more on the card itself, which seems to be a positive movement um, for the store. So that has changed, and then also just my reinvestment. I bought. I had so much up front that I was just selling, selling, selling. But I kept buying too. I was constantly looking for lots and stuff to flip. Now I've slowed that down a little bit. I'm looking for bigger buys at a time and then just taking my time to list and just keep building it from there instead of these little chops of lots of cards or even single cards here or there unless I find something really special. So those are probably the biggest changes. As far as shipping goes, I've had some pretty good changes there. I started out with the number 6 envelopes, the little envelopes. I bought a huge amount of boxes of those envelopes, so I'm gonna continue to use those, but I'm phasing them out, and I'm going to all number 10 envelopes due to the, suggestion of my post office, I guess would be the best way to put it, as I had some mail not get sent, them adding on postage, things like that, which is obviously not what you want. So that's pretty big change there. I'm still just doing the eBay standard envelope, free shipping, so none of that has really changed. I've switched from the regular masking tape to the painter's tape for when I'm shipping the card itself. So like on the top load, that kind of thing. I'm Using the masking tape, though, I love the masking tape for labeling the bags because that light tan, is so easy to read the SKU number in marker versus the blue tape is really hard to read. Whatever color you write on it with, it's hard to read with on that blue tape with a marker. So, found a purpose for both those types of tapes. Um, I used to just pretty much ship top loads, but that's shifted quite a bit to card savers for a couple of reasons. One, top loaders are generally a little bit more expensive, not by a lot, but a little bit. In a, it's not as easy to find as good a deal on them in bulk. Um, but I do use them, and especially when I get them for free, which is pretty common at shows. Most dealers, collectors, they'll have their cards in top loads. When you buy them, that's how they come. So I'm kind of saved my top loads now for multi-card buys, which I get a lot more of now. That's the other thing that's really changed in the last year. So I make my little sandwiches out of those. So I'll put a top loaded card on top and a top loaded card on bottom, and then all sleeved cards in the middle and tape around it. It keeps all the cards real safe. It's cheap and easy to package that way. And I kind of just save my top loads for that. The only time I'll like top load a single card to send it out is if it's more expensive. So like, um, a maximum standard envelope sale of 19.99 for a card. I'll put that in a top load and send it out versus, a $1.99 card. I'm just gonna put it in a card saver and send it out. And that's probably the biggest change that I've made in shipping, and that is the different types of supplies. So my labels, I use from UPS now. I got a thermal printer, so that's how all the packages are addressed on the sticker labels, and then the number 10 envelopes. Like I said, I don't buy card sleeves. I buy the elite card savers, and they come with card sleeves. So that's been a nice switch. I haven't had to buy any card sleeves in quite a while, and I don't plan to. So when I do run low on shipping supplies that I don't get naturally just from buying collections or lots, when I reuse those, then I buy the elite um, card savers. So those are definitely the changes that have been made on the shipping side. It's a pretty fair amount of them if you think about it. Over a year's time, that's uh, a good chunk of different things that I'm using or doing. But all good things. Are really smooth right now. As far as running, costs are real cheap, about as cheap as I feel I can get them, and things are getting delivered on time. Customers are happy. Feedback is good. All that good stuff. Um, so I'm really pleased with that. I do have some pretty big cards that I have never listed, and I'm gonna start listing those because I want to try to use some of the funds from those to add some growth, buy some other not big cards, but slightly bigger than super low end stuff to try to use that to grow as well. And I've also been listing in a couple different sources, so that's the other change. I listed in buy sports cards. I listed some cards there. Even got some sales there. Um, I want to try to. I did a whatnot auction. Um, I might do another whatnot auction. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know that that's quite my avenue. um, it's fun, but it's kind of time strapping. Like you have to commit to a certain time to do it. You got to schedule your show. You still have to take pictures and kind of list them, if you will, of what's going to be available. You have to get people to come to your show, um, and I appreciate all of you. We had a lot of viewers that came in and helped me out with the show, and I sold quite a few cards. I wasn't disappointed that way. I was disappointed in the prices, of course, because I'm used to demanding a certain price versus just if people pop into the auction. And I know some of those cards that I sold were resold for a decent profit. So kind of feel like, what was the point if I could have just listed it myself? And listing is so quick now, because that's the major change that I made this past year. was adding the scanner and Car Dealer Pro. I've since expanded my Car Dealer Pro listing package twice, so I'm up to 2,500 listings a month, because I was just running out of them so fast, and with so much leftover bulk buys that I have to list, I wanted to make sure I could get as many listings as I could for my dollar and get those up each month. Um, so yeah, those are probably if I really think about it, those would be the biggest things that have been adjusted over this past year. Um, and I don't see anything real major outside of that, other than just I'm going to start getting towards my maximum listings, and I'm going to be making that whatever adjustments I need to make at that time, for that. But I'm at 46,000, so I've got about 15,000 or so to go. Um, so I've got time. That's not going to happen in a week. But I'm really looking forward to the national. I picked up some amazing stuff last year. I have pretty much all of it listed now. Yeah, it only took me like a year to get through some of it, but it was just really nice to just have a source of some boxes of stuff that I'd cherry picked, laying around ready to be listed anytime. I had space between other stuff that I bought, and just good. It's good filler for that purpose. So let's go ahead and before we get too much into the national chat, I have a feeling a lot of you will want to participate in that. So let's go ahead and get into some of the chat on here and see who's in here. Bargain Boxer is here 6 days. 6 days. So for me, it's 7. I'm not going to be there till Wednesday. So it's today's Wednesday, so 7 days, full week for me. Um, driving up from, or driving down, I should say, from Green Bay. So it's about a 7.5 hour drive. I don't really like these earbuds. I don't know. I needed something, and I had the kid run and grab them, and this is what she gave me. They're Samsung. I mean, they're a nice brand and stuff, but I don't quite like how they are in the ears. Anyway, but yeah, it's gonna be a week from now. I've got most of my plans in place. I still want to come up with something we could try to do one night maybe, or we could all get together and have a meal or something. And then also, what I want to do for any of the after hour events. I don't really do trade nights and that. I don't have that kind of stuff. I don't have anything to bring and show off in my Zion cases or any of that kind of thing. Uh, but um, but I like the atmosphere. I like talking to other collectors. It can be good for some content. So I do have the new mic, which I will be bringing for our hotel room videos, if you will. I um, I have to get a new lapel mic, so that's part of my task over the next couple days. I did not find anything good on Prime, so I'm just gonna. I have one that I want, so I'm gonna just go pick that up. I've got the GoPro this year. Last year I had kind of the cheap knockoff brand GoPro, so I didn't get very quality videos. And as a matter of fact, it ended up breaking during the show, and so for 2 days I didn't get any video. Um, but I got the GoPro. I got plenty of batteries, so I'm hoping to get some good video this year. I want to go meet with Daniel Atkins at Wildcard and show off my BGS 9 1000 stripe Farv. He asked me last year if I brought it with me. I didn't, so I'm going to bring it this year. Keep it very safe on me and show him that. If you don't know who he is, Daniel Atkins is the CEO of Wildcard, and yeah, I'm hoping maybe I can use that as leverage for a free T-shirt or something. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm excited for their products. They always have a good setup at the show and some good show deals. So I'm excited to pick some stuff up there. The Fanatics and Tops just announced the football. What did they call it? Football variety box or something. I can't remember what they said it was called. Um, hold on, I'll look it up here quick. The composite, Tops Composite. And it's gonna have all these different little Tops brands in it. It sounds amazing. So I'm hoping they have some of that there, and I'm hoping that those will qualify for some of the Tops packs. Don't know if I'm gonna put much focus on buying any of the panini boxes to get panini packs because I didn't do very well on those last year, and it's just kind of a waste of money. I'd rather just go buy, out of value boxes and stuff like I normally do to get my value. Um, so that as far as buying that, that'll be that. I the guys from Car Dealer Pro are going to be there, so I'm really excited for that. I'm hoping I can get an interview with them. I did email them to find out if they would have a time where they could do an interview, and I haven't heard anything back. So, and I know they're busy. I'm not slamming them by any measure, but um, hoping I can kind of go over there maybe right away on Thursday, not Wednesday. Wednesday's just a shopping day for me. That's an inventory pickup day. But on Thursday, maybe I'll pop over there and see if I can grab an interview and talk to those guys. So if you have anything you would like for me to ask Car Dealer Pro, post it in this chat or message me because I plan to have those conversations with them, as my wife likes to call it. Even if it's a difficult, sweaty conversation, it needs to be had. So, um, so I have some ideas of things I would like for them to focus on. More non-sport. The fact that they got non-sport up was shocking to me. So super kudos to them because that would have been my number one topic. But they did surprise me and put some non-sport out there already. But just sort of the growth of that, and then maybe looking at some other platforms, um, coordinating with them, like buy sports cards would be amazing. I know buy sports cards will probably not pay you for listings once they're hooked up with Car Dealer Pro, because that wouldn't make much sense for them. But yeah, so want to do that. If you have any questions for Wildcard, Dan Adkins at Wildcard, I interviewed him the last two nationals and I'm sure um, I can get some time with him if we have any questions. I think they have like a country music set or something coming out very shortly, so very interesting take from them. But it's NIL products. There's they always have some good stuff in the works. So if you have any questions for them, let me know as well. Those would probably be my two main interviews. Um, But then, yeah, just try to get a lot of video of walking around, looking at cool products, um, bidding on some auctions, I really try to participate in a lot of the stuff that's going on there. But the main thing would be, Wednesday for sure to hit those um, value boxes pretty hard and pick up as much inventory as I can. I'm going to go with two empty 5-row boxes, just like I did last year. I ended up filling about a little over a box and a half, I want to say, last year. So I ended up with probably 6 to 7,000 cards. I wouldn't mind coming home with that number again or more if the numbers seem correct. I feel like prices will be down a little bit this year from last year, especially in the value boxes and variety and what's available. So I don't know. Hope so. I'm gonna try not to get my hopes up too high so that I don't get too disappointed. But I don't need a ton of inventory to list either, so that's kind of nice. I don't have that pressure. I can just go in and buy what I feel like is the right buy for right now, I guess is the best way to put it. All right, let's continue on with some chat. Dan is here. Yes, he can hear me. Okay, well, that's good. Now that we're this far in, he says, evening all, evening to you as well. If only a Rico was on Prime Daily sales. Yeah, that's one thing I would like to do is upgrade to like a real blog camera with the fuzzy mic and the whole ball of wax. Um, so here's the thing with for me, at least with eBay, I sell cards full time, so I have to the things I do that are associated with that have to generate some revenue because that's what being a good business person is. And I don't make very much money with YouTube, so for me to run out and spend like $1,000 on a camera just doesn't make a lot of sense. Not until I would have the growth of the channel and stuff. And my channel is mainly just to support the business. And I started it just to kind of share, what I do and uh, this side of the hobby instead of the $10 million cards. What about the $50 cards? Um, so it was never meant to be like a huge revenue stream, but to put more money into it and to invest, I guess. Uh, it doesn't make a lot of sense if you're not gonna have much income off of it. No, I'm trying to do my little pieces here at a time as I learn. I've upgraded to the GoPro this past year because my expense budget for my YouTube is not very much money, so it kind of goes pretty quick uh, once I have it. I did get the mic. I got a really good deal on Prime Days for that. Um, I do have my other wireless mic, which is now kind of kaput. That ended up being free because I bought it and then Amazon paid me for the basically the price of the purchase for review, which was kind of nice. So I had it for almost a year and it essentially didn't cost me anything. So kind of no harm, no foul there. But I do need another lapel mic, so that's and I'd like to upgrade a bit from the one I got last time. So that's going to cost me some money too. So I think the high quality handy cam or whatever you want to call it, mini cam, blog cam is probably gonna have to wait for a little bit yet. All right, Card Vibe is here. It says, "Evening, everyone. When you started, how many did you list with Card Dealer Pro, and how many would you list a day without it?" It's a great question. I've had Card Dealer Pro now since I want to say February. Is my gain too high on this thing? Yeah, I can adjust the gain on the microphone too. Does that sound better? I think that sounds a little better. So yeah, work in progress on this thing. This is the very first time I've used. I literally got it this morning, so I was kind of impressed. I ordered it last night at like 8:30 p.m. and I got it this afternoon. So less than 24 hours later, and I got the delivery. All right. Anyway, so when I started with Car Dealer Pro, I got I think 1,500 listings. I bought into that plan. I think it's like $20 or something. And of course, I got 500 listings free. By the way, if you haven't signed up for Car Dealer Pro and you're going to, use my referral code dollar box, all small letters, DOLLARBOX. When you sign up for Car Dealer Pro, you get 500 free scans. So get you started for free. But yeah, I started with 1500 maybe it was. I don't even remember to be honest with you. I think it was 1500 scans. Whatever the $20 price level is. Let's see, Car Dealer Pro prices. But yeah, I started with whatever that package was, and then I've outgrown that, especially like I said with the more of the bulk buys. When I buy the more bulk or more vintage stuff, almost all that can be scanned. That's the beauty of it. So it is a lot of cards to buy at once, but it doesn't take much time because I can do it all through the high speed scanner and Card Dealer Pro. Let's see, subscription plans. What does this say here? Let's see, everything in the prospect plan. What the heck's a prospect plan? So it looks like 1100 monthly. Yeah, it was 1100 monthly scans for the prospect plan and then 2500 for the minors plan. So I think I started cuz upgraded twice. So I must have started with the 1100 scans then gone to the 2500 scans. So that's where I'm at now. And that's generally plenty for me. Um I don't I don't per At this point, with how many cards I already have listed, if I was just starting out, maybe I'd do a bigger plan and just try to pump the store up a little faster. But with so many listings already, I don't see myself doing like 10,000 scans a month or anything at this point. So we'll see. Now, how many can I list without it? So eBay, the eBay app, which is how I list if I'm not using the scanner in Car Dealer Pro, so shiny cards, if you will. Um, I've gotten pretty that app's gotten much better. I have AI write the description for me and things that used to take some time are essentially no time at all now. Just kind of have to kind of get through some of the drop downs and list it and then move on to the next one, take the photos, have eBay sort of do the work for you and list it. So it's somewhere between 35 and 45 seconds I can list a card. So grab a stack and, you know, so you can do what 50 well, I could probably do like 75 cards in an hour, 80 cards in an hour maybe. Which obviously the scanner is much faster than that, but it just doesn't work for everything. It's just you just have to realize that. I've seen people try to because it's the best lazy way to do it, of course. So I've seen people, scan chromes and things like that and put them through, and I don't like it. To me, there's no point in listing the card if you can't sell it. Um, so I won't be, oops, I won't be pushing more through than needs to. No, the other side of that coin for me is I don't have the scanner. I don't own the scanner on my own. We did a co-op purchase, Charlie and I. So he gets the scanner. He has the scanner right now, as a matter of fact. So he has the scanner for a couple of weeks, and then I have it for a couple of weeks. So basically, we both bought enough Car Dealer Pro listings that when we have the scanner, although I take that back because Charlie will just scan a bunch of stuff in and just leave the photos sit there and then just list them later. I don't do that. I scan and list at the same time. Um, but yeah, so I get my scans on the 24th of every month, and usually by the 8th or 10th, I'll be out of my scans for the month, and then it's perfect because that's time for it to go to Charlie, and then he does his um, Car Dealer Pro scanning to Car Dealer Pro, you know, at least at the same time type of stuff. So for me to do a lot more scans wouldn't really make sense. So what I like about it is it kind of forces me to do both things, right? So when I have the scanner, I need to make sure I get my stuff scanned and listed because I'm only going to have the scanner for so long and I only get so many listings. But then when the scanner's gone, I don't have the Car Dealer Pro listings, don't have the scanner, so it forces me to sit there, take my piles of unscannable stuff, photo and list them. And get that shiny stuff out there. Shiny generally equals money, so you don't want those sitting around too long without them getting listed. Hopefully that answers your question. No, car dealer, the scanner's great. I've had absolutely 0 issues with it. It will scan some black border cards and kinda chop them down, and it's not even everything non-shiny can scan real well if it has a lot of black on the card. However, um, for the most part, it scans everything in perfectly, and you don't really have to do much with it other than maybe turn the photo if it's a horizontal card or something like that. But Card Dealer Pro, is great, and it's getting better, um, but there's plenty of card info it scrapes that's wrong, so still have to kinda go through card by card. You have to assign a SKU to the batch, or at least that's how I do it, and then, you have to go through and make sure that it's the right parallel and, all these other things that happen, um, that you need correct for, listing the card, so I I, it's not quite as simple as scan. Here they call all come, pictures are all perfect, titles and everything are all perfect, boom, list. It's not quite that simple. So I do everything in batches of 50. That's how I prefer to do it, 50 or less, depending on the thickness of the cards. So I will go in and scan my batch of 50. I'll go through it on Card Dealer Pro. I'll assign a SKU to that batch, get them, get the CSV file, upload it to eBay, and boom, I'm done. Put it in my baggie, my date label on it, and it goes in the drawer. So on a batch of 50, I'm probably looking at about 4 to 5 minutes, maybe it takes somewhere around there. By the time, like I said, you go through each one, make sure prices are right, descriptions are right, all that kind of stuff. There's also some annoying stuff I like to remove out of there. So vintage cards, a lot of times they'll put because there's variations of the cards depending on when they were printed or how many times they were printed. So it might be card number 35, but it'll be 35A, 35B, 35C. I always go in and take that letter out. I don't want that in there. I just have it listed as card 35. So it's just some little things like that that I adjust. And one thing I really like about it is my banner that I created for my store on the bottom. So every time I scan cards in, my little banner logo, kind of watermark, whatever you want to call it, shows up underneath the card. So I like the professionalism of that. I think it's good for branding. I think it's yeah. So I like that part. And that gets in put in there automatically. I don't have to do anything to do that. So lots of good things about Card Dealer Pro and the scanner. Now, I know a lot of people have had problems with scanners. Um, I would just strongly suggest that you buy a really good scanner if you're going to use it for quantity. I mean, we're scanning between Charlie and I, we're probably scanning like 5,000 cards a month. Maybe not quite that many. Let's say 4,000 cards a month. That's you need a scanner that's going to be able to put up with, be a workhorse, right? You don't want to have to be cleaning it all the time. You don't want it breaking down or missing cards or whatever. So, and we do clean it. I usually try to clean it at least once or twice while I have it, get it back to Charlie clean. Although I forgot to clean it this last time, unfortunately. Apologize, Charlie, um, he'll usually clean it once before I get it and that kind of thing, and you just kind of do some of your maintenance with it, and you should be good to go. All right, $3 to $10 cards, stay off my lawn. Yeah, that's to me that seems like the more sweet spot because I feel like I get more liquidity out of cards like that. Yet I can still get them for a pretty good price. Um, I've gotten quite a few $10 cards out of a dollar box or a $2 box. So that's where I'm going to try to focus more of I still want to buy bulk, of course, but I want to kind of focus a lot of my buying on those cards for this next year. I think that's the goal for 2024 into 2025. So we'll see how it goes. You can actually make good change off the VIP and freebies. Correct. I've done that the past few years. This is my eighth national, I think, if I remember correctly. Yeah, basically, I sell my autograph tickets. There's always some promo packs in there from Leaf and Panini. Usually some good discounts or prize coupons, or take this to a booth and get a free pack, or take this to a booth and get 20% off, or something like that. So uh, yeah, there's decent value in there. So the VIP purchase is completely worth it. And then this year with getting the free parking pass as well, since you can't stay on site, there's nowhere to stay on site. That's huge for as far as I'm concerned. Not to not have to pay for 5 days of parking um, is a pretty good benefit. So I'm looking forward to the VIP bags. I hope they got something good in there. Last year they had some of those things that I just talked about, and then there was also the Gary V Friends promo card or like serial number card. I don't know whatever card they stuck in your bag. And I got one that was numbered out of 50, which I guess is a little bit lower than many of them. And I got it like $250 for it or something. So I paid for my entire VIP badge plus got a little cash out of selling one card out of the bag. And it sold before I got home. So I listed it, that Friday or Saturday or whatever of the show. It sold when I got home Monday. I just simply had to stick it in an envelope and mail it out. So um, yeah, VIP buy is a good value for sure. Joe is here. Hey, Adam. Good evening. Good evening, Joe. Thanks for joining us. Dan wants to know what did you do to get panini packs and what kind of boxes and how much was a box? Okay. Um, This answer changes every single year because it depends on what Panini wants to dump, to be honest with you, is sort of the way I look at it. But basically, when you get to the show, they'll have a list of, and it might be in your VIP bag too. I can't remember if it was in the VIP last year, but if you go over to Panini, the Panini booth, they have special silver packs that you get for buying certain boxes of cards, and they'll tell you what boxes you can buy and how many silver packs you get with them. Then there's only 2 vendors you can buy those boxes from to get the silver packs, and that's Dave& and Adam's Card World and Steel City Collectibles, I believe. Yeah. Um, what's is the other what was the other one? Blowout. So anyway, you go to one of those, dealer tables and they'll have signs everywhere. Trust me, they want you to buy these things. So they'll have signs everywhere. Usually there's a special section at their booth that will be like the boxes you can buy to get silver packs. So, for example, last year they had like 1 or 2 football products, really low end stuff like Legacy or something you had to buy. Baseball had was like US Stars and Stripes boxes, and so it wasn't a lot of stuff that I wanted to buy or frankly most people wanted to buy. But they did have a um, Revolution Asia soccer box. That was it's a really nice box. I think they were $120, I wanna say, but you got 3 silver packs. So, the different boxes based because they're different prices, the different boxes will give you different numbers of silver packs. So, I think the Football Legacy box was like hun 95 bucks, 85 bucks, something like that, and you got, like, 1 silver pack. So but anyway, so let's say you go to Dave& and Adam's Car World, just for argument's sake, and you buy one of those boxes, they will cut the seal on the box. Okay, because you cannot keep the product sealed, they wanna or no, they don't cut the seal. Strike that. You'll buy the box, it'll have a sticker on it saying you get silver packs on the box. Take that over to the Panini booth, wait in line for, like, ever, if you do it on a Saturday. If you do it on the earlier days, it's not so bad. Anyway, you take the box over to Panini during the hours that they're doing the silver packs. They'll cut the seal on the box because they wanna make sure you don't resell the box or return it or do something like that. And then they'll hand you the appropriate number of silver packs that go with the boxes that you bought. And then the silver boxes generally have or silver boxes, silver packs generally have 2 cards per pack, and, sometimes you get 2 base cards. It's that bad. Sometimes you get a nice rookie, sometimes you get a foil, sometimes you get a serial numbered, an auto, a memorabilia card. There's obviously thicker ones that have memorabilia cards in them. So those are the Panini packs. Topps kinda does the same thing, and I haven't done the Tops. I'm more influenced to do the Tops this year than I am anything else, but, they kinda do the same thing, but you do it at the Tops booth itself. So you go over to Tops, wait in that line forever, go up to the front, and then, based on how many boxes you bought or whatever boxes you bought, they'll hand you packs as well. So very, very similar process between the 2 of them. But that's what it is, and then whatever you get in those silver packs, that's, the cherries on top from the products you bought, but they're not generally like, you can't just go buy a box of brand new Prism football and then get silver packs for it. Like, they don't tie the packs to those types of products. It's gonna be the lesser selling products. At least that's what it's been every other year as far as I'm concerned. But, like, a Revolution Asia box, I can't buy a box like that at the dealers in Green Bay. So that was a perfect box for me to buy because it's something I wanted. I don't get a lot of soccer products, and I believe that box had the most silver packs, to go with it, so it just kinda made some sense. But don't force yourself to buy the box thinking that these silver packs are the, you know, be all end all and the holy grail of packs in the hobby because 'cause they're not as good as they used to be. At least they weren't last year, so but I'm excited to try the Tops packs. Those seem to be pretty good last year from what I've seen in, like, videos and stuff. All right. Joe says, make sure you tell Alex to get rid of those letters after card numbers. Oh, yeah, I just talked about that because yeah, I have to go and delete those, I hate that. Um, okay, so just to clarify this, when he says Alex, he means that's basically my contact at Car Dealer Pro. That's who I'm hoping to interview. Like I said, I haven't heard back from him yet. Maybe I'll send a follow-up to see if I can get through to him before next week, but yeah, that would be definitely something I would want to do, um, for them to change. I don't need those sub letters on the card numbers. If they wanna do, like, sub stuff from the title, like, dot on back or wrong date or, if they wanna add some of that in that line, like, under the listing line or title line, I should say, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that, but yeah, to put, like, 135A, 135B, 135C, yeah, it's annoying. I don't like that either, so I will definitely be bringing that up. There are also, like, plenty of sets that weren't on there yet. I had a bunch of, like, inserts and promo cards from Breaking Bad, 4400, I'm trying to think of what the other sets were, Harry Potter, like, stuff like that, and most of those didn't come up. I bought a big lot of promo cards the other day, none of those were on there, so they definitely have some work to do with the non-sport, getting things added in there. What's up, Adam? Chat. Hey Keith, how's it going? Thanks for joining us. Doing pretty well. I'm flying solo, so I'm hoping I'm holding it up on my own here. I picked up a 3,000 count box of non-sport from my LCS for 80 bucks. Nice mixture. Dang, I would do that in a heartbeat. Even just for the fun of it. I did sidebar here. And you said non-sport, that's what made me think of it. But my boxes, if you guys saw my video of my basement mostly done. I've got a little bit to do yet. Oops, sorry about that. Didn't mean to hit the screen here. The filter. But I got some cards in the shadow boxes in the hallway. So I've begun the process of working on that. I have um, I have a ton of these, and these the uh what do you call these? The magnetics. I get cards in these all the time, or I get them in different lots or whatever, and I don't use them for anything. Once in a while, I'll take a really expensive card and I'll ship it in one of these if it's a raw card. But so the little shelves that are in those boxes, these kind of stand in there perfect. So I'm gonna use. I have like stacks of these. I probably have 50 or 60 of these. So I'm gonna put the raw cards in these that will go in those boxes. So I'm excited to get that one done, and I'll show you guys all of what I got in there at the time. Um, just to give you a little insight, some of my special Star Wars cards, um, some Favre cards, of course, and probably my entire Atom Bomb collection. I'm gonna try to put in there. I've got a whole bunch of different Atom Bombs that look really sweet in those boxes. So anyway, still working out, exactly what I want to put in there, but um, look for that soon. Okay. Also grabbed a two-row box of over 1,000 Tom Brady cards only. Tom Brady only cards, with a lot of them being early Prism and Select. Wow. Your LCS put that out? Why would they do that? But yeah, good for you. I grab boxes of Tom Brady whenever I see them, at the right price, of course. Dave Pearson said, I feel the Cleveland venue gives everyone more room to move around, much better than Atlantic City, and some more room than Chicago with air conditioning. I'm looking forward to air conditioning. So, that being said, not that I don't trust your word on it, but I do bring my hydration packs with me. We've got our cases of water. We're all set to go that way. And a little bit more room to move around isn't necessarily a bad thing. I don't, I always feel like I have enough room in Chicago. I haven't really felt like I got boxed out. Um, I've kind of heard that from some others, but I think maybe it depends on what you're looking at and such. So, but yeah, I'm excited for Cleveland. Never been there before, so we'll see how it goes. Let's see. Real question for the Nationals: how much ibuprofen to bring for your neck and back? Um, Surprisingly, I did a few years ago when I first went back to the National. This was like 2018 or 2019 was the first one I came back to after a little break from it. Um, my back gave me some problems. Last couple years, I didn't really have any. So I think part of it is try to get a chair and sit. If you're going to dig through boxes, try to sit for a while and do that. Um, but yeah, ibuprofen, yeah, of course that's essential. I took some this morning. I was pretty sore redoing my master closet upstairs, and it had to be painted and all this other stuff. So, um, my bedroom is off limits because all our clothes and everything are kind of thrown around in there until the closet's done. So I've been sleeping on the bed in my daughter's room, and she's been sleeping on the floor um, on a blow up mattress with my wife, and it's just not it's not the quality bed that I need at my current age and state. So yeah, I'm kind of hurting already, and then next week I gotta go do that. Luckily, she's finishing the closet tonight, I think. So, provided we can get some clothes back in there, should be back to my own bed in a day or two. But um, yeah, I think ibuprofen is something you definitely want to bring with you. Good suggestion. I've heard you mention your card bag inventory storage process. Can you explain it for me? Thanks. Um, yeah. So let me let me go grab an example. I'll be right back. And then I'll kind of show you what I'm talking about. I do have a picture on my phone too I can show you. Okay. So I used to let me just get my headphones back in here. I don't know which one's right and which one's left. There we go. When I used to list cards, especially since I was just doing like certain players and stuff, when I started out, I kept them separate. Um, and just had like sections in the drawers, and then any cards of players that I didn't have a lot of just kind of went in like a generic section in the drawers. But that causes problems for obviously a number of reasons. It's hard, excuse me, it's harder to find them. They don't it's hard to stay grouped with them. You pull some out and they slide and all that. It's just not great. And then as you sell them down, now you have this empty space there that maybe you got to switch something around with to fit into it and so forth. So one of our viewers a while ago had mentioned using a bag system, and thought it was brilliant. I switched to that, tried it out in December of last year, and haven't looked back. As a matter of fact, all the cards I was working on today was all the cards that I had listed previously. Um, Many have sold, so just through attrition, I've gotten rid of a lot of those cards in that older system, but I'm still converting stuff over, and that includes this bag here, which is mostly Josh Allen stuff. But basically, what I do is I take if you're using, if you're scanning and using Card Dealer Pro, I just do it in batches. So I would take like a bag's worth, 40, 50 cards, scan them, list them, assign a SKU to them. eBay has a SKU system, custom SKU, and I do it by date. So, like for this one here, hopefully you can see this. Maybe I got a lot of light. There we go. So this one here, you can see it's today's date, so July 17th, 2024, and this is bag number 3 for the day. So I sub number them because I do a lot more than one bag in a day. Now these I listed on my own. Actually, these were already listed. This is part of the project where I'm converting them over from the old system to the current system. So I just grabbed the Josh Allens that I hadn't done yet and got them bagged up, so they're easy to do. So when you get a sale, you'll see a SKU number under your sale. Let me see if I can pull this up here. Um, you'll see a SKU number under your sale, and then that'll tell you what bag it's in. So here, for example, here's a Barry Bonds card I just sold. So hopefully you can see this. Um, so you can see right underneath here, it'll have a SKU number. So maybe I could just do a share screen. This shows. Let me go to my. I'll just share the screen here. Hold on a second. But it shows you, what SKU the card is in. So it's real easy to pull your orders, and it's quick. Go to orders here. All right, we'll start. I'll just show you this one here. Let me do a share screen. Share screen. Okay, so you can see right here, like this order here says ship by July 18th. Just got a new offer. This Slick Rick card here, right? WWE card. This would be weird because I wouldn't have a lot of Slick, in or Slick. I think his name was Slick Rick. Anyway, so I wouldn't have like a separate section in a drawer for him or anything like that. But it doesn't matter. You can put any card at any time in any bag. That's the beauty of the system. But you can see right here it says custom label SKU 3/17/24/7. So I'll just go to that date in the drawers. So I like using dates because it naturally keeps them in order. So if I open a drawer and these are the February packs, these are March packs, it's really easy to, get to the right pack dates. And then I just simply go, okay, well, this is bag one, two, three, four, five, six, and then grab bag seven, and that card will be in bag seven. So hopefully that makes sense. Oops, I got to stop sharing my screen, I guess. Oh, I can come back here and then you can see both. Interesting. Haven't done much of this solo, but yeah, you can see right on there where that SKU number shows up. So it's kind of a perfect scenario. Okay, there we go. It's kind of the perfect scenario because it makes it really fast to put cards into your inventory because I basically just put them in a bag, put the piece of tape on it, and the bag goes in the drawer. I don't have to look for a certain spot in the drawer. I don't have to move things around as stuff is sold. And then, like once or twice a week, all I do is I go to the end of where my bags are in the drawers, and well, I shouldn't say that. Probably the first. I start with the beginning drawer, and I start pulling the bags forward, and just keep pushing all the bags forward, so that you always have new space for your next set of bags, if that makes sense. Um, But yeah, I'm up to like 7 drawers now that are completed. No, 9 drawers that are completed in the inventory system, and I have about I would say like 12,000 cards in each drawer, something like that. So it goes pretty quick. I have a picture of the drawers, I think, unless I deleted it. Maybe I deleted it. But yeah, I took a picture of all the drawers previously and, and showed like all the bags in order and stuff. I don't have it on here anymore. But yeah, so it's a great system. It's easy in. That was one of the things that I argued against over organizing my inventory previously before I have as much inventory I have now. But I was like, well, if it takes me a ton of time to inventory it and put it away, that's not really helping me on the sales side because yeah, it takes me longer to pull it when it sells, but that time is only committed when it sells versus you have to commit time to everything you list. You have to deal with the inventory no matter what. So the fact that I could just put it in a bag real quick and stick it in there was quite a revolution for me that it was like, yeah, this makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I don't have a picture of all the drawers, but I'm sure you can get the idea. So you have this bag in there, the date faces up. So that's why I put the date on the top like that. So it goes in the drawer like this, date faces up here, and then just all the dates are in order, and you just simply grab the bag that that card's in and pop the card out. Now, what I like to do is when I get down to like just 2 or 3 cards left in a bag, I pull that bag and take those 3 cards out, reassign it to a new bag number because I don't want just 3 cards in a bag. Add, new listings to that bag, put the new sticker date on the bag, and put it back in the drawer. So that way you're constantly moving forward. You constantly have, pretty full packs that you're working with for the most part. And you can keep, you have your inventory here, you sell it, you can move that, the rest of the old inventory over or forward, if you will, add new inventory. So it's kind of the first in, first out, like a grocery store, right? So they have, let's say you go to the milk aisle, you open the cabinet, or the fridge door, you grab a milk from the front, right? All the other milks then slide forward. And then what do they do when they're filling it? They're in the cooler in the back and they take milks and they fill them into the back. So everything just keeps kind of sliding forward as the sales occur. And you always have inventory that's ready to go to be sold and shipped. And then you always have some space being created to, add new inventory and to do restocks. Hopefully that answered your question. Doing the best I can. I'm not as, like I said, as good solo without Charlie here. I know the Panini packs usually has the newest football rookies in their team uniforms. That's correct. They did last year. One thing I would say is sell them quick. Um, unless of course it's for your PC or something. But I sold almost all my stuff right away because um, yes, for some players, it's their first pro uniforms, but there's going to start to be real products coming out very shortly after that within their team uniforms that are going to be more desirable. So it's kind of like the college uniform products. You want to sell those before the pro uniform products come out and so forth. But pretty much everything I get at the national, I just list. We're actually bringing the scanner and I'm bringing my laptop. All that will go with us, and we're actually going to do that stuff right in the hotel room. So I'll have my label bags with me, so it's gonna be real easy this year. I'll scan, list, bag, date. It'll go right in the 5-row box like that, and then when I come home, I simply have to pull the packs out and put them right in my drawer. So it'll be a very smooth, very, very easy process. It'll keep everything together as I list it, so I don't have to dig through the boxes later on and such. Um, but yeah. Now this will be what, the last year of this, right? For the Panini packs and stuff because Fanatics officially gets the license in 2025. So that Tops product that's coming out for football will obviously be non-licensed. It's going to be their first foray back into football without any licensing. And then next year, I'm sure the Tops packs or the Fanatics packs, I guess maybe would be the right way to put it. I don't know if Fanatics will do packs or they'll just let the brands do it with Tops. I don't know. Um, but yeah. So, and I've had some good luck with Panini packs too. I got a really low numbered Brady card a couple of years ago. I got a couple of decent basketball autos, so they're really hit or miss, I guess is the best way to put it. And it seemed like there was just a lot more misses last year. There was a breaker buying silver packs near the line for $40. He said he bought like 50 packs. Um, That's probably about the going rate. I I would say more like 25 or $30 would probably be a good buy price if you're looking to buy them without buying the boxes, but for that football box or for that soccer box that I bought, I paid I think $150 for the box and I got 3 silver packs. So that's $120 worth of silver packs. So essentially your box is $30. So it just I don't know. I think if you're gonna do it, I don't know that I would buy the silver packs themselves because you're to get $40 out of one of those silver packs is not you're not gonna get that in most packs. Um, some you'll get over that, of course, but I don't know. Yeah, and if that's what you wanna do, if you're like, "Screw it, I don't even wanna see what's in it, I'm just gonna go buy my boxes, and I'll get the cards out of that for value, walk over to this guy and sell the silver packs." Go for it. Um, but kinda takes the fun out of it too. I think those are fun to rip, so and they're good for like I said, good for content, so I like to rip some on camera. Alright, let's see. He's retiring, so he's clearing out his shop. It's Chris Justice of Cards Infinity. Super cool guy. Oh, sweet. Well, good for you. I mean, if you had an entire box of Brady's and a nice box of non-sport, heck yeah. That's a great buy for anybody. Let me know if he's got anything else that you don't want. I'd probably be interested, especially non-sport stuff. Sounds like he had more of a non-sport shop. Chris Justice of Cards Infinity. Chris Justice of Cards Infinity. So he owned Cards Infinity. Um, why is he clearing out a shop? I'd like to know more. Let's see. Assault Cards is here. What's up, Adam? I wish I could make the national, but looking forward to your national content. Yeah, I mean, it's still a pretty big trip. It's 5 days a hotel and meals out, and I get it. It's a commitment to try to go to this thing. If you go for all the days, which I kind of feel like if you just want to go for the Saturday, that might not be worth it. It's so busy, and um, if you're doing what we're doing and you're trying to find the bargains in that, you really want to hit that Wednesday night, that first day open, to get the best stuff. And but yeah, I mean, I just get so much stuff at the national that I don't get at my shows around me. Um, can't really cherry pick. When you're buying lots on eBay, you kind of get whatever's in it, and that's not always ideal. So and I bought a lot of non-sport stuff last year, ironically enough. So I'm I'm partial to the national as far as using it as a way to get inventory, to source. That's the hot buzz term for resellers, right? Flippers. Um, and this one was just not that far away from me. It's about a 7-hour drive. That's reasonable, all things considered, to drive to and drive back from. So I don't have plane ticket, costs. I can bring my cards with me. I don't have to ship them or do anything like that. So it just makes some sense. And then again, we're kind of spoiled where we're at because like every other year it's in Chicago, which is like a 3-hour drive for me. So doesn't make sense for me not to go to the Chicago one when it's that close. Now, cost isn't really that prohibitive, especially compared to some of the other conventions I've been going to for years. You know, I'm a Hyatt World member, so when I stay in Chicago, it's like $179 a night for like a super dope room at a hotel connected to the convention center. Plenty of lobby training. There's a good restaurant, couple of restaurants in there. There's an amazing all you can eat breakfast buffet for like $25, which is a little high for breakfast, but you can load up. I mean, they have everything, and it's like I said, it's all you can eat. So a lot of times we'll just dig in hard at breakfast and, eat a pound of bacon and 6 eggs and you know, 3 glasses of orange juice and just really load up, and then you don't even really have to eat the rest of the day. So it can cost you $25 for your meals for the day, and you end up with good food. It's good food. I don't quite know how the Cleveland is gonna function that way, but we ended up getting like a bed and breakfast kinda thing, I guess, or what do they call it? Long-term stay place. So we have like a kitchen and stuff like that, so we can like make food, and it's going to be pretty awesome. Actually, I'm looking forward to it. So I think the big thing is, um, if you want to do something like this, you got to try to slim some of those expenses. The VIP ticket is I don't know $150, 160. I don't even remember what it cost me now. I bought it so long ago, but like we talked about earlier, you can generally get the value out of that just selling the stuff that comes in the VIP kit. So essentially your admission is free. You got to pay up front, but then you'll get stuff that you can sell to recover those funds. So other than like travel costs and, whatever your stay costs, there really isn't too much expense above that, which is kind of nice. But I wouldn't be going if I wasn't buying inventory. If this was a total pleasure trip for me, which I'd been to the National plenty of times where it was when I was just a collector and things. But for me, this is basically a business trip. So it's a little bit different maybe than it would be for some of you. Sorry about the yawn. Like I said, I've been sleeping in not my own quarters for the last few nights and it's catching up to me a little bit. Plus I'm a super early riser, so the late show for me is a little tough. Let's see. MI3 cards. Get the Costco sized jar of ibuprofen. That is what I buy. You are correct. Although I prefer a leave. You could probably trade some for bargain box cards. Yeah, so that's what I do. I buy the big bottle of ibuprofen and then I have a bunch of little bottles at home that I split it into. So like I keep a little bottle in my office, got some in each bathroom, and it's very very cost effective to buy it that way. All right, bargain boxer. What hotel are you and Chris shacking up in? I don't know. That's a good question for Mr. Charles. I can have him post it in the Discord. He booked the room this time, so um, he's got that information. I don't know. I'm sure he told me at one point in time, but it didn't mean much to me because I don't know the area. So, but yeah, it's like a little. It's about 7 to 10 minutes out from the convention center. So I don't know if it's like a country inn or something like that, but yeah, we tried quite a few different places. I actually had a problem booking a room for whatever reason. It kept saying my card wasn't valid or something, which it's a card I use all the time. So I don't know. It was really strange, but I couldn't get it to work. So, and we were in the car when I was trying to do it. So I just had him try the next day, and he's able to book something right away. So we went with that. Yeah, we can let you guys know, and then yeah, if you want to meet up or if you're staying in our hotel, great. Um, we can probably do a dinner or do something. I think that'd be fun. Get some drinks. VIP is 206. Okay, sounds good. Um, but yeah, I don't think you'll have too much of a problem getting 206 out of the stuff. I think last year between the Panini cards, I just sold a couple of the Anthony Edwards Panini rookies. Oh, and that would have been from the year before, wasn't it? I have a feeling there's gonna be like Web and Yama stuff in there. That'll be pretty hot. Um, Thinking for baseball, they might have something for Paul Skeens in there. Um, I know they were working on some NIL cards for Livy, Skeen's girlfriend, the LSU dancer chick. I can't remember her last name. Anyway, um, so there might be some stuff like that. If Gary V has any of his limited cards in there, those will do pretty well. Like, they you should be able to get. Oh, there was a Jordan pack in there last year from Upper Deck. Those were pretty good too. It was like 7 different Jordan cards of him through the years. It was like a Goodwin Champions type pack. Um, those sold pretty well. I got like $8 a piece for those, and I think that was like 10 cards in that pack or something. So it was like $80 just for those cards individually. And then, like I said, I got a bunch of money for that Gary V card. But that was a little bit of luck of the draw. But I think even on the low end, those cards in those bags were going for like 100 to 120. Then if you got a better character or a more lower serial numbered character, then numbers went up from there. So usually for the autograph tickets, what I'd done in the past, this didn't happen for me this way last year. I actually had to like find somebody to buy them, but usually you get your VIP bag, you step off to the side, and there's somebody standing right there that says, "Hey, I'll buy your autograph tickets for $30 or whatever it is." And I just sell them. I'll just take the cash and, "Yep, here you go. Here's your autograph tickets," because I don't wanna deal with it. I'm not interested in the autographs. It's not my game, so, um, Yeah, I basically just, sell anything I can sell out of it and move on. There's usually some fun materials in there. I did a video last year of, opening my VIP bag and showing you guys everything that was in it. So you can go back to my videos and look at that. If you're interested in, approximately what you might get. It's obviously nothing's guaranteed year to year what'll be in it, but I have a feeling Fanatics might have something in there. Just kind of start pushing themselves a little bit. Um, But there was a cool coupon in there for a free pack of the Bitcoin cards, from that I think it's Cardsmiths or something like that is maybe the name of the company. They were cool. I went and talked to them for a little bit, got my free pack, and, um, there's discounts at some places. One place was you took it there, you got an entry for some sort of prize, and we won, an NHL Rookies box set. And I ended up listing those and sold quite a few of them, a few bucks a piece. I think it was like a 30 or 40 card set. So that was kind of nice, especially since I don't have much hockey. Um, yeah. So 206. I mean, I guess that sounds about. That actually seems a little high. I don't. It didn't feel like I paid that much, but maybe I did. I don't. I don't really care, to be honest with you, because that's just the cost of admission. It is what it is. You can't change it. If you don't pay, you don't go. um, even 40 or 50 bucks here or there on the price, you can cover that pretty easily with stuff in the bag. How do you carry all the singles inventory you pick up at the show? Okay, so that's going to be a little bit of a different challenge this year. Hold on here. I gotta get a drink. Gotta wet the whistle. I'm doing too much talking. And hopefully my fancy new mic blocked out my ugly drinking sounds for you. Um, yeah, that's gonna be a little bit more of a challenge this year because what I did in the Chicago years is I always stayed at an attached hotel, so I'd buy for a few hours and then run back to the room and I'd drop them off. Not gonna have that luxury, but I carry a backpack with me and I'll stuff that sucker full with as much stuff as I can. I try to buy boxes or get boxes while I'm shopping. So a lot of the value box dealers will say, hey, fill this. They'll have a bunch of single row or double row boxes and they'll say, hey, fill this box for 80 bucks, 100 bucks or whatever. And I do my best to just grab a box and fill it. Stuff it, stuff it, stuff it. Like take them out of sleeves. That's a trick I've employed for quite a while too. Cards are in sleeves and it's fill a box. Don't leave them in the sleeves. Dump the sleeves because you can get a lot of extra cards in then. Anyway, so I'll fill those boxes and then I have to carry them around till the end of the show. There's really not much else you can do with it about it. You can try to get some other bags or carry in IKEA bag. If you really feel like you're gonna have a lot of stuff, you gotta throw in a bag and carry around. But basically, pack my backpack full, and then I carry everything else. And that Wednesday night, it's great because it's only from like 3:30 or something till 8. So you're just gonna, you're only gonna have that half day of show that you got to carry stuff around, and you can bring it home with you. One thing I would say is make sure you keep track of them. The Dallas Card Show has taught us anything. It's don't leave your stuff laying around. Um, so if you've got a couple of boxes and now you're at another table and you want to sit down and go through those boxes, and you got to set your boxes down. Put them between your feet. Put them between your knees. Hand them to your buddy to hang on to for you. Whatever you got to do. Put them in front of you and lean on them, and dig through cards so that, your boxes are right underneath there and you can grab them as soon as you walk away. But yeah, that's part of it. I know some guys come through with carts and stuff like that. I don't suggest that. It's so hard to get around with that stuff, and you still have to do the same thing. You still have to manage it. You still have to watch it when you stop. Um, I don't know that you're going to get that much further ahead. No, so I bought, what was it, like you said, 7,500 cards or something last year, but I didn't buy those all in one day. So, you think like, oh my God, you bought 1,000 cards and now you got to carry them around. 1,000 cards is not that much. 1,000 cards is one good long one row box. to carry. It's not that big a deal. So you should be able to buy like 4 or 5,000 cards in one day and still be able to carry them around. Um, it's not ideal, but what are you gonna do? Now, what you could do is leave the show since you have a parking pass if you're VIP. You could leave the show, drive to your hotel, drop them off, come back, finish the show. I don't know that I wanna do that, and I don't necessarily wanna even just run them out to my car and lock them in my car. I'd rather keep them on me, but that's me. So, um, but those are 2 other options. You could bring them back to your room, leave them there, and come back, or you could just run out to your car and lock stuff in your car and then go back and get some more. All right, lots of good chat tonight. Thanks, guys, for participating. Thanks, everybody, for joining us in the chat. If you do like this type of content and you feel like it's got some value to you, please consider giving it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel to see future videos. We do have a Discord. It's on the little scroller thing here. That invite code might be out of date, but if you go to the Dollar Box server on Discord, join us there. We actually had quite a few joiners after last week's live. 'Cause it'd been slow for a little bit on getting new, participants in there, but, I think we got, like, 3 or 4 in the last week, which is pretty good for our little server. Let me see, I was just gonna see if I had any. No, I didn't get any tonight, but yeah, so anyway, do all those things. I know I haven't put out too many videos recently. I put one with the tour of the new office and the basement and stuff, but just been a lot going on here. Daughter's soccer season wrapping up. She's in a musical, so we have some performances this weekend, things like that. And then obviously going to the nationals is really gonna put me off my normal schedule, but I'll be making a lot more content because obviously that's a great place to gain that um, content. But yeah, I'm gonna try to get back to more of the video series. I haven't really done a sales day video. My sales days have been really, really big recently, with coupons and stuff, and I just been focusing on that and I really want to bang out the rest of this inventory system because when I pull orders in the morning, let me just give you an example of how my day works because that's also changed in the past year, of course. Where I made a video a year ago about what do I do, a day in the life of, right? Um, but I forgot what I was gonna say. Well, anyway, so so when I go to pull orders in the morning, that's what I was gonna say. First thing I do is I pull all the orders that have SKUs that are coming out of the bags, right? Because it's easy to find, it's quick. I don't really have to think about it much. I don't have to deal with the falling and trapping cards and all that stuff. And then I have to go back and kind of go to the drawers that aren't converted over yet, and I hate it. So I've really been trying to focus some of my attention on that versus like random YouTube videos. I did kinda wanna do, like, a year in review video, so maybe I'll do that tomorrow where I could give a little bit more insight on, you know, how I started and how it's going now kinda thing. Let's see, where are we? Let's see, I was about, where am I? Inventory, he was mainly sports cards, look him up, basically invented group breaks. I helped him do team breaks sorts when I could. Oh, interesting. So is he going out of business? I also bought a 2021 Star Wars Stellar Signatures briefcase, limited to 100 from him. I had to have it. Oh, dang, that sounds cool. I think is that the one with like Natalie Portman signatures and stuff in it, like some pretty rare stuff. Good evening, 6 days. Yes, it is. Are you excited? I'm getting excited. I'm also kind of 7 hour drive, but in a way, it might be nice. I could really use some rest, and I don't have to drive the whole thing, so even better. You paid 199 plus tax. Okay, makes sense. Taxes might be a little higher than Wisconsin. Yeah, it's probably not too far off though. So probably about right. Get a locking Zion case. I don't have cards that require a Zion case, so I don't need that, but yeah, that's a good tip if you've got bigger stuff or, just a handful of cards that have good value, then yeah, you probably wanna get something to lock it up. See you there, Max. Awesome. Hopefully, we can all get together, that'd be fun. Have we ever met, um, Bargain Boxer? You see me there, introduce yourself. I'll be wearing a couple of my Loud Pokemon shirts. Yeah, I had the pleasure of meeting Bargain Boxer at the I wanna say her name is Brian, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm really bad with names, so please don't take offense, but yeah, he came up to me at a box, towards the end of the show. I think it was on Sunday. So it was nice. I love to see the viewers. Obviously, you know what I look like, and I don't necessarily know what you look like. I know what obviously, Max, I know what you look like. You're in my area, but um, yeah, just, come up and say, "Hey, let's hang for a bit. Let's chat for a bit. Let's dig through some boxes for a little bit." It'd be awesome. I would love that. Don't put your Zion case with $2 million in cards under the table. Correct. That is a bad move. It almost seems set up, doesn't it? Somebody made a good point. I watched a bunch of videos on it, and "Oh, why would you leave it there?" And these guys are scum and this and that. And somebody mentioned, how does anybody know those cards were actually even in that case? And I'm like, ooh, hadn't thought of that. But maybe the case was empty, and this guy's like, he took all my cards, and I had $2 million of cards in there. Here's the list of them. Does anybody know if they were actually in it? Is there video of those cards going in that case? I don't know. So, whatever. I'll be wearing a T-shirt that says, "Can I check out your box?" That's perfect. I love it. Charlie and I will have our goat shirts, um, and then depending on weather in there, if they do have air conditioning, I might wear some jerseys. I have some pretty cool authentic jerseys that I like to wear to shows. Um, I might have my Lionel Messi shirt on. I'll have a few different things. Pristine Auctions, I got some really nice shirts from them. So that's generally the type of stuff I wear. 10-4. I have way too much to do before the national to be enjoying the time right now. Fox Valley tomorrow, Madison Saturday. Yeah, I know you're doing a lot of shows. Are you going to do the goat show with us? We have quite a few like Pokemon and TCG vendors. It wasn't that wasn't my intention originally. I was thinking I'd get more sports card dealers, but I've gotten a lot more TCG dealers, so I think it could be a really fun like Pokemon themed type show. After Madison, then I'll be able to relax a little bit. Yeah. Madison is Saturday, right? I think. So yeah, we have quite a few shows going on here. That'll be busy and stuff, but Nothing like nothing like the National, although I do like the Madison Card Show, that's a really good one. Bo does a great job with that show, and gets a heck of a turnout. So, hopefully, we can build our show to something like that someday and, um, even add some other cool stuff on top to make it even more fun, that's the goal. But we're all caught up in the chat, so that's good. So let's talk a little bit about the national. What is everybody's goals at the national? I've kind of shared mine. I could specify them a little bit, but I'm definitely looking for um, cards that I don't find at other shows. That's priority number one. Number two will be to look for some more of that mid price, what I consider mid price stuff like $3 to $10 cards that I can get out of value boxes. Um, More liquid stuff like that box of Jordans I just bought kind of stuff. So that's priority number 2. Then priority number 3 is to get some more super low end non-sport stuff. So hopefully I can find a bunch of that. And let's see what's the other one. Yeah, probably just getting some new stuff. I really want some of that Tops football product. I think even though it's not licensed, then I think just a new Tops product. It'll be out I think it comes out the weekend before the national, or maybe it's even coming out at the national at this point. But I'm hoping to get some of that there. I think that's a great product. I think it'll sell well. It's got all the great sets in it: Tops Chrome Cosmic, Tops Chrome Black, Tops Finest, Flagship, of course, Allen and Ginter, and it's just the cars just look awesome, and I'm excited for that product and the hype of Tops to be back. And then wild card. I got to get my little fix of wild card while I'm there. I'm gonna spin the wheel if they got the wheel there and get some cool prizes. Hopefully, talk to Dan a little bit and um, maybe con him out of a hat. I'd really like a hat. I got a shirt last time, so I'm hoping Dan will give me a hat for providing a photo op with a high grade thousand stripe Favre. We'll see see what happens, but and then the other thing is I'm really looking forward to meeting the guys from Car Dealer Pro in person. Talk to them online quite a bit. I'm really a pretty big fan of their product at this point. I see good things. I see them working hard at it and a lot of potential, and I think it's uh it's really our way forward to continue as a viable business. Uh, so the more we can encourage them, the more we can talk to them, or we can give them feedback, the more we can get new customers to sign up. And kudos to anybody who signed up with my code. I really appreciate it. It is nice to get a little bit of affiliate income too. Think to this point I've signed up like 11 or 12 new users with Car Dealer Pro. So that's been very encouraging for myself, Car Dealer Pro, and you guys get the 500 free scan. So it's everybody wins, right? Um, so yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing them, and then just some of the really high end stuff that you just don't see anywhere else. I love seeing like the Pele autograph stuff and a Babe Ruth signed bat. There's gonna be a is it the Hannes Wagner that you can handle? They're gonna let you hold a Hannes Wagner card. I mean, graded, of course, slab. But yeah, just it gives you a chance to do some stuff that you can't do anywhere else. So that those are my things that I'm really looking for out of this national. Let's see. All of the money I bring. Well, there you go. That's a good goal. Keep it simple. I've never done it. I haven't either. I do bring a fair amount, but even though I buy as much as I do, it's generally cheaper stuff. So I usually get to go home with quite a bit of money. My goal is to spend all my money and never sell any cards ever. Well, that's a great goal. If you're just a collector, there's nothing wrong with that. Good luck at the show, Adam. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Like I said, I hope to see a lot of you there. I'm going to try to shoot as much content as I can, try to edit and upload, and keep some stuff going. I think Charlie's going to try to film some stuff too. We will be doing that being said, I should point this out. We will be doing a live next Wednesday. It may start, well, I shouldn't even say may. It's likely going to start. I don't know if I want to commit to saying that it's not going to start on time. I want to say it's going to start a little late. So what's going to happen is um, I'm going to post the time as we get closer on the YouTube channel, just as a post of when we will do the live that night. But the show goes till 8, and our hotel's like 20 minutes away. And I don't really intend on leaving the show early on Wednesday. It's such a key day for buying inventory. So my guess is, we'll be back to the room about 8:30, something like that, and that's probably about when we'll start the show. Now, that's a time change though. So we as long as we start by 9, in that time zone, it's the same as it is, where we film it right now, like this episode, Central Standard Time, 8 o'clock. So hopefully we can nail that time, but I have a feeling we might be a few minutes late. So we'll just try to update everybody as it goes. But if you get a notification that says, "Hey, Dollar Box is going live," jump on. That's legit. Means we're ready to go, and we're gonna have a location live show. It'll be fun because, it'll be the first time ever that Charlie and I'll do this live in the same room together. It'll be kinda interesting. It'd be really nice to have the mic and the headphones when there's another person right here interacting with the same show. It should alleviate any of the feedbacks and things like that too, so another bonus to having this ready to go. Uh, I did it last year, this year will be no different. I have no doubt. I've understood for a long time you have no intention to sell, and there's nothing wrong with that. We need collectors for sure. Let's see. My goal is to find myself a nice Nolan Ryan auto. I've never owned one before. Well, if you can't find a Nolan Ryan auto here, you're not going to find one anywhere. That'd be my take on that one. Um, I've seen some good Nolan Ryan autos there in the past, so I would anticipate you'll be able to find something. Now, as far as price goes, will you find it at a good price? I don't know. I guess depends on what you think is a good price and what your budget is. Um, Now, everybody says that they don't like buying at the National because everything's overpriced, and I haven't experienced that. Now, again, I'm generally looking for bargain box type stuff, but I've never had problems finding things. Even when just went there as a collector and I was just buying Farf stuff, I found tons of stuff. There was plenty of stuff overpriced too, of course, but you can kind of find that at any show, in my experience. So I don't know if that really changes much just because it's the National. As I said at the beginning of this show, I actually think we could find some better prices this year. I feel like economics, all this other stuff coming into play here feels like there's like a little bit of understanding of a lower floor now for prices where it seemed like last year everybody was still trying to get those 2021, mid 2020 prices on cards, which just didn't make sense any longer. And I feel like that's been more accepted in the hobby now that, okay, the prices are down here now. I know a lot of dealers are just trying to get rid of some inventory to just kind of rebuild, or get out, whatever the case may be. So I'm hoping that that will bring some opportunity to us as, business people looking for reselling opportunities to get some good deals on some stuff, pick up some things. But we'll see. Like I said, this is my first time ever going to Cleveland show. I've heard decent things about it. It's I've heard much better feedback about this show than Atlantic City. So from that aspect, that's good. And then next year we go to Chicago. I think the year after that it's in Chicago too. So I'll be able to go to the next three nationals for sure. We'll see what kind of growth I have at that point and what my business expense budget looks like. If it ends up in a West Coast show or a farther East Coast show or Florida or some Dallas or something like that. Um, and then I can evaluate at that time if travel makes sense. That kind of travel makes sense, but I I think at the point I'm at with the business, it just makes sense to go every year. Just pick up too much stuff that I can't get otherwise. Makes it worth it. So yeah, that's all. Those are all good shows. Sounds like plenty of you are going to or plenty of you are going to the national. So that's kind of awesome. I think if you haven't been before, it's a lot. It's a lot to take in. So try not to get overwhelmed. Um, and don't bookend. And what I mean by that is don't skip every table right away, thinking you're going to get a better deal, and then you regret not buying what you saw. And don't spend all your money on day one. So don't do either of those things. Buy everything at the first dealer you see. You don't want to do that either. So you kind of got to do some of each. If you have a good eye for this type of stuff, especially if you're looking to buy it, flip it. If you find a good deal, take it because chances are you come back, it's not going to be there. And if you're not sure if it's a great deal or you think that there's going to be other stuff there, and you're going to be able to do better, then hold off and keep going. But this show has, I think, 1,200 dealers now. No, that can't be right. Well, it might be with like all the corporate and all that stuff too. But I mean, it doesn't get much bigger. There's going to be plenty of tables, plenty of product, plenty of wax boxes, stuff to do. I'm really hoping the Garbage Pail Kids fortune teller is back. I know it's such a goofy little machine, but I had so much fun with that, and it's $5 for a car, which kind of sucks, but it's just fun. It was just fun, and then pulling the atom bomb um, in the cards that I bought was pretty amazing for me. So, as a matter of fact, that's on my shelf. That card. Let me hold on a second. Yeah, it's right here. This is the one I got out of the fortune teller machine last year. I actually got two. I got this one, and I got can't think of the name of the other character. It was Brian something, I think. But this is definitely the one that I wanted. I collect atom bomb stuff, so this was pretty cool to me. So I got the atom bomb, and then on the back, it's got the custom back. So it's got the your fortune teller machine card, and it says, "Your fortune, Adam knows all. A product of the atomic age, you will be renowned for making bombshell predictions. In fact, your Big Bang theory will blow people away. Play again." And I don't know if some of these have, say that you get a prize or something on it. I don't know. But 2022 tops. So it's a legit tops card. It's a tad off centered, which is weird because I don't believe in 2022 that they can't make centered products, but it's not off by a lot. But so I'm hoping some more cool stuff like that comes along. I like seeing the new types of products. Um, Last year, BCW is giving out. Um, was it the national frames where it's the plastic frames that you can put the card or the packs in? I have a few of those. I really like those. There's one of those in the that's the other thing that comes in the VIP bag. Usually you can get some supplies in there. Couple top loads, or yeah, card savers because some of the booths will put like their tickets or their bonus, discount coupons or whatever. They'll put them in like card savers and put them in the bag. So you can reuse those card savers. Um, like I said, BCW had the little frames for cards and packs. That was pretty cool. I got a couple of those in a bag. So not stuff you can necessarily resell for good money, but just cool stuff that can be good to have. Let's see. Problem is that everything is more expensive in Joe's economy, so we'll be paying for it. Card prices have tanked, but all dealers' expenses have to be covered. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely don't want to get into any political debates at all, but you're not wrong. Prices have definitely gone up, and dealers do have costs, especially table expenses and things like that. But I'm not going to overpay for something just because their expenses are higher. So that's the way I look at it. If I feel like I can get the right deal, I'm happy to buy from any dealer, and hopefully get them to closer to their goals. But it's got to be at something that works for me. So no, prices have kind of leveled off. We've seen inflation sort of not necessarily go down, but stagnate. Stay the same for a while now. So hopefully that will help too. Things won't seem like they're more expensive because it's been prices we've had for a little while. Dealers at my shows have been selling for decent prices, so I'm hoping to find some dealers there with that same view. That's all you can do. I'm sure I'll find, and if not, if I don't find a lot of inventory that way, then I'll buy, some wax and get some bonus packs or buy some exclusive stuff or, there's plenty of ways to generate revenue from the show too. I could just went and bought a bunch of Gary V friends stuff and I could just made my money that way last year. Didn't want to, and I don't think that holds up long term. I'd rather have the Batman insert, stuff and that kind of thing. But I don't know. I don't know. I always find plenty of dealers that buy big collections and they're just willing to let the lower end stuff go and they don't want to haul it away. Um, One of the other things that I found last year, it's kind of the first year I've really seen this, was a lot of the breakers will bring like because there's so many breaks where they don't ship base cards and that kind of thing or low end parallels, and they just throw them in monster boxes and take them to the national and sell them at 20 cents a card, 30 cents a card, whatever. And same principle, I would just grab a big box, I'd fill it up, and hey, $100 for this box, whatever, and come home with like some nice soccer parallels and stuff like that that I don't really see very often at my shows, my local shows. So I'm hoping that I'll run into some of that as well. But yeah, I think that's probably going to do it for this show for this week. I got to get some sleep. Without Charlie here, we're not going to go as long because we're not having two opinions on everything as we go. But I really thank everybody for joining me tonight, especially like I said, since I was on my own and I haven't done that in a while. You made it a lot easier with participating in the chat. If you have any questions for me, like what I'm doing now with the business, how things are going, let me know. Try to put some more video out about that in the very near future. Um, Next week, like I said, we're going to do the show. We might be a tad late, and we'll let you know. But that'll be a lot of fun. You don't want to miss that one. So make sure you get that on your calendar. Next week, 8 Central Standard Time. It'll be 9 o'clock in the time zone we'll be in. So that's kind of fun, filming from a different time zone. And kind of the same thing. We'll probably this Charlie's very first national, so we'll probably spend a lot of the show just um, kind of doing what our show was made for, right? He'll be going over the I'm new, I've never done this before, and I'll kind of go over I've been to 10 of these, and this is what I see with this one. Kind of perspectives, and I think that should be a lot of fun. And hopefully we'll have some pickups to show you, and we can show you what's in some VIP bags, things like that, and it'll make for a pretty good episode, I think. Something totally different, than our normal weekly, his basement, my basement, um, you know, sides of the world here. We'll actually be together and be doing some stuff together. We'll have Stu with us. If you want a picture with Stu, um, we're always going to oblige that. So just ask, and we can get that taken care of. And yeah, that's about it. So thanks again so much for joining us. We'll see you next week. And remember, you can't sell what you don't list. So keep listing. See you next week.